Thank you for joining as we resume day 2 of the Healthy Longevity Global Innovator Summit. I'm pleased to introduce the NAM's partner in Chile, our one collaborator in South America, the Agency for Research and Development, or ANID. Let me turn it over to Christian to begin, and he will bring in a couple of the awardees as well from Chile. Over to you, Christian.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Good morning. I'm going to talk to you briefly on behalf of the Chilean Government Research and Development Agency. That phrase you see in Spanish there means knowledge change our lives. Okay. After my introduction, according to the agenda, there will be 2 other presentations by our awardees, and we have only 20 minutes in this session. Okay. We are a Chilean government agency that develops public programs to promote and foster knowledge in all areas of knowledge. We fund and manage postgraduate scholarships and calls aiming at advancing research technology and science-based innovation in accordance with the policies defined by the Ministry of Science, Technology, Knowledge and Innovation. The ANID average annual budget is around $480 million per year. That means about 70% of all the public investment in science, technology, knowledge, and innovation. Applied Research Division. ANID has several divisions. One of them is the Applied Research Division, where the NAM instrument is located. In the Applied Research Division, we have 10 instruments. One of them is the Longevity Challenge, and ANID NAM. We've been promoting the NAM innovations to be cutting edge and transformative with local and global impacts. The annual budget in Applied Research Division is around $62 million per year. The average annual budget for NAM has been $300,000 per year. NAM total budget since 2021 has been $1.4 million. 30 projects funded from the beginning, from 2021 to 2025. We are considering additional criteria to support the awarding of regional entity. That means that the country is divided into regions. It is a very long country. We consider a bonus as a criterion for awarding regional projects. This way, we avoid the centralism. At NAM, we have worked 4 major lines of research and development. We have received projects on topics such as general technologies for elderly care, also technologies for social inclusion and active participation of all the people in work, digital, culture, economic, and support networks, intervention strategies for the aging process. We make one call per year in NAM program, in instrument. We receive an average of 110 proposals per year, and we have awarded 6 projects per year. Regarding NAM core role, in order to expand some NAM projects, have used finance and instruments from our Applied Research Division. Chile has the second highest life expectancy in America and the first in Latin America. I think the first one is Canada. Then we are the second one. And because of this, we are interested in continuing with the Healthy Longevity Program given that we have a high growth rate of older adults in the country. Although the average life expectancy in Chile is high, the healthy life is not so much. People may face health challenges in the later decades of their lives. Regarding challenge experience and lesson learned, in all this time, we have learned better evaluation procedures, such as making blind the evaluation process. Also, we have challenges ahead, such as how we will continue. What's coming next is the upcoming 2026 cycle. We have been working with NAM USA for 5 years. It's been a positive experience. We believe international collaborations are of great importance for us. We hope that our projects will move on to NAM accelerated phases. This is important for us, NAM accelerated phases. Okay, okay, thank you. Now I stop sharing and I leave room for the next speaker. Nelson, this is your turn.
Thanks, Christian.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I'm Nelson Macardo Dragicevic, a kinesiologist or physical therapist or therapist, physiotherapist, a master in clinical gerontology, and I'm assistant professor at the University of Magallanes, and I have been entrusted with the mission of presenting you project NAM 241004, cultivating health and well-being technologies to improve the quality of life in older people, funded by the U.S. National Academy of Medicine through the Healthy Longevity Global Grant Challenge Program. I would like to thank the organizers of this summit for allowing us to present some preliminary results from our project, and it is still in execution phase. This project seeks to identify the needs and preference to the target population in order to develop a mobile application and user training program, but under continuous update, that will improve the quality of life of the elderly, enabling them to produce and consume medicinal plants rationally without worrying about safety and in-use and compatibility with conventional treatments. The project encompasses clear phases: application design, space adaptation, and monitoring and of usability and acceptance of the technology developed by the elderly participants who were recruited at the testing group. Initially, with an approximated cost of $20,000 provided by the Global Grant Challenge Fund, we adapted an existing greenhouse at our university, making it accessible and adaptive to the needs of older adults. We expect that in subsequent versions, but in this and other projects, this greenhouse will continue to be used in conjunction with the developed smartphone application, creating a medicinal plant cultivation program for various groups of older adults. For the acquisition of materials and equipment, approximately $14,000 from the allocated fund were invested, which were mainly used for purchasing planters, fertilizers, soil, and cultivation tools. These materials were utilized in multiple workshops whose main objective was the use of the phytotherapy application as a guide in cultivating native medicinal plants specific to Patagonia, particularly from the Magallanes region, Chile. Some of these workshops, due to climatic reasons, were conducted in facilities other than the adapted greenhouse, as we must consider that during the project execution period, our region was in winter. The situation was subsequently resolved once heating was installed in the facility. Moving from concepts to smart application, enough in in your screen, development was the second process we undertook. This application is designed in Spanish and allows through a very user-friendly interface for the adults navigation through various contents, including name search, effect search, a video library, a glossary of terms, and most importantly, and highly valued by all the adults in the testing groups, games associated with the content, becoming an important tool to engage users with the developed application and simultaneously test knowledge acquisition regarding cultivation, effects, and preparation of medicinal plants. In this application, once users have identified the plant they wish to use, new menus are displayed that enable plant recognition through photographs in various climatic seasons. This menu also displays representative and easily understand icons, information about the plant's utility, cultivation, precautions, and proper preparation methods. The video section provides links to diverse, freely accessible content, primarily reinforcing cultivation and various preparation methods. In the glossary section, easily understand definitions and methods of utilization are compared, such as infusions, maceration, ointments, and tinctures, among others. The fund contributed $2,000 for equipment purchase and $6,500 to cover the cost of designing and developing the phytotherapy application. Once the application was developed, it was tested with 34 other adults, primarily women, with a mean age of 77 years, ranging from 63 to 93. The majority of the tested sample, 80% above, owned smartphones. Those who didn't were supported by the project with tablets acquired with project funds. To measure application acceptance, it was necessary to implement the technology acceptance model using an instrument that evaluates perceived usefulness, perceived easy of use, and perceived enjoyment. Our evaluated dimensions demonstrated a high internal consistency, validating the results obtained, which are presented below. The value obtained for perceived usefulness stand out particularly. 4.72 out of a total of 5. The values obtained for easy of use and enjoyment when using the application were also satisfactory, exceeding 4 points, placing them in a high acceptance range. The receptivity of older adults in the testing group manifest in very high values, as nearly 88% of participants expressed high acceptance of the developed technology. In this way, we have identified that the project based primarily on developing technology that accompanies the knowledge acquisition process regarding medicinal plant cultivation and use has main facilitators. High perceived, perceived, perceived usefulness, existing infrastructure, domain knowledge, and minimal technical barriers. On the other hand, identified these minimal barriers reveal situations that must be further improved in subsequent phases, primarily associated with the need for better understanding of technology utilization and acquisition for older adults. We hope to improve this situation through massive workshops aimed to help in older adults approach and empower themselves with technology that can serve them, reducing the existing gap mainly related to digital literacy processes. In our region, this is primarily associated with the sensation of fear regarding potential damage that older adults might cause to their equipment, largely related to high equipment costs relative to their low economy income. We find ourselves in a very favorable scenario with more than 90% approval from the tested group, suggesting that this application could be very well accepted by other groups with similar characteristics. it could become a support tool for other adults and their health associated with better longevity, potentially helping to reduce polypharmacy levels and their associated high costs, while also representing a good way to occupy free time and, in the best case, becoming a source of monetary income that increases your family budget. It is always important to collect first-hand information. Testimonials from some testing group participants firmly demonstrate some achievement on them. P said, I lost the fear of using my phone. It is very easy to use, and I'm thinking about cultivating these plants to improve my income. I feel that I have all the information I need. But testimonials also reveal some realities that are important to address in future phases, and they're associated with the vulnerability of older adults in the region. Art tells us, I would like to have a more powerful phone. That way I could have more apps to help me day by day. Digital literacy programs will not be possible unless we develop strategies to reduce the gap, primarily associated with the low income for our elder adults and the high cost of equipment, which represent a significant use of economic resources. Program must be developed that enable older adults in our region to access quality equipment and receive comprehensive training in its use for better resource utilizations. Many future challenges arise, primarily increasing the user group, incorporating suggestions from the testing group, such as voice search for people with visual difficulties, incorporating augmented reality to recognize plants and their condition, and above all, conducting more workshops to bring older adults closer to technology, thus reducing their digital divide. In this way, we can open the world of technology and artificial intelligence to older adults, providing the possibility to incorporate better practices that improve their quality of life. Thank you very much for the attention you have given to this presentation. And once again, I extend my gratitude to the Healthy Longevity Global Grand Challenge program of the USA National Academy of Medicine, which has made the realization of this project possible. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Nelson. And next we have Juan Carlos to share his Catalyst project.
Thank you, Nelson, for your talk. Hello to everyone. My name is Juan Carlos Forero from Universidad de Valparaíso in Chile. Today I will present our project, a preliminary clinical evaluation of a sugar-free artificial saliva with bioactive peptides. This project focuses on elderly diabetic patients with xerostomia or dry mouth. First, xerostomia is very common in elderly people, especially in diabetes. Okay, the most of these patients suffer diabetic xerostomia or xerostomia. The other name of this complication is hyposalivation. These conditions leads to systemic alterations like poor nutrition, periodontitis, bacterial infections, and others. Unfortunately, current saliva substitutes only give short relief. They do not protect against infection or help repair oral tissues. This creates a big unmet medical need. In this sense, our solution is a new artificial saliva spray with bioactive peptides. It gives lubrications, but also antimicrobial actions and helps tissue regeneration. We designed it sugar-free, safe, and easy to use for older adults. Our preliminary research, first we synthesize the peptides P1 and P2 for intellectual property reasons. We can say the names, but we obtain a high purity of this peptide after the synthesis, After that, we proceed to make an antimicrobial activity assay with 3 strains of bacteria in 2 concentrations, 100 micromolar and 200 micromolar. And we can see in the right panel that the P1 and P2 inhibit bacterial growth in 200 micromolar concentration. This show a significant antimicrobial activity that is very important for oral health. After that, we did an experiment when we want to evaluate the effect of peptide on cell migration process. And we can see in the left panel, for example, that both P1 and P2 in 200 microgram by milliliter enhance cell migrations. This means they may help repair damaged oral tissues and reduce healing time in patients. On the other hand, in the right panel, we can see the different formulations of saliva than we did with their compounds, and we optimized the sprite with the similar viscosity to natural saliva. It was safe for self with more than 90% of survival, as you can see in the right panel, the letter. We did a small clinical trial with diabetic and non-diabetic elderly adults. Each patient used both sprites, the placebo sprite and the functionalized sprite, with a 7-day washout in between. We measured the serostomy scores and patient satisfaction. The functionalized sprite with peptides reduced the serostomy scores more than placebo. In diabetes, patients improved from severe to moderate or mild dry mouth. Over 85% like taste, texture, and comfort of the sprite. No adverse effects were reported. After that, we did a small clinical trial. Here are photos from patients in the baseline, day 0, and we saw in the baseline dry tongues, cracks, and inflamed gums. And after 7 days, with the use of functionalized sprite, the tongues looked more hydrated and the gums healthier. This suggests that potential for both relief and regeneration. For example, we can see in the right panel the gums in the baseline. We can see some wounds, and after 7 days of use of this saliva, we can see tissue regeneration in the wounds. Next, we want to expand clinical validation to more patients and multicenter studies. We will define the regulatory pathways, refine formulations, and prepare a pilot scale production. Finally, we seek partners for technology transfer, manufacturing, and distribution. Thank you very much for having us to the summit, and we are transforming a palliative substitute into a preventive and regenerative tool for oral health in elderly people. We invited to collaborators and investors to join us in bringing this innovation from the lab to society. Thank you very much also.
Many, many thanks, Juan Carlos, Nelson, and Christian, for sharing some of the amazing work that's happening thanks to Chile's participation in the Healthy Longevity Global Competition. It's been really great collaborating with ANID over the last several years.